Hello and welcome to my little home studio. I'm Sandy. I'm a community arts and crafts instructor at East Sussex College. On today's tutorial I am going to show you how to create a series of Zen doodles or drawings. This project would really help you develop your drawing skills and your confidence to do so more comfortably. We will explore different line drawing, simple mark making, sometimes called techniques, which are just ways of creating patterns and textures, and then we will use those to create beautiful and intricate little drawings in a really relaxed and calming manner. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's get started. So for this Zen doodle technique we are going to use some plain paper, some standard pens, an ink pen if you have one, and a marker pen, a medium size nib marker pen. It helps if you can get one. A ruler you might want to use, and also just something to use as a template or a round object to draw as a template, which I will be using later. So the first thing I'd like us to try is to develop a practice sheet. This will really help you explore different mark making techniques, which can be very simple and very relaxing, and it's something you can come back to at a later date and just build it up to really make it your own. So you can start with just some little squares. Like that. So this gives us some smaller areas to work with, so it's not an intimidating blank page. All we have to think is, how can I fill up those little sections? So mark making simply refers to a creation of different patterns, lines, textures and shapes. So they can be quite bold, quite harsh, or quite soft and subtle and lined. They can be really organic and flowy, or they can be quite geometric. So it really is what it comes to your head, how you feel in that particular moment when you're drawing. So let's have a little practice. I'll show you some examples. This will be a fantastic piece to refer to later once you decided to tackle a more intricate Zen doodle project. So you can just do some diagonal lines. It's about feeling that area. Don't have to worry about anything else. Maybe some vertical lines or some little crosses. They're all different textures you can use. Bit cross hatching, that's kind of used very many artists, just to creating a lot of tone, light and shade. Some bits can be a little bit heavier if you go over several times. So it's quite an abstract, quite irregular, very random way of filling up the workspace like that. Come back, add some more, stop when you feel ready. There we go. You can do some combinations of maybe some little diamondy shapes. You can start adding some detail to it. Maybe you want to put some little dots inside it. That's quite nice. So really varied. Really just go with the flow, just see kind of what happens. Sometimes the hand just goes around and does it by itself, which can be quite good. So you can also do some more organic shapes. One of my favourites is just lots of little swirls. You can vary the shape, the size, to fill the shape that you have there. So it's just about really making the most of all that area, and as I said, without worrying about what's coming next or what it might look like in the end. We can do some nice little waves. You can keep them parallel like that, or you can vary them slightly and make them more and more irregular and more random. Can do another one I like, some kind of arch, scalloped kind of areas. They're quite nice. And again, you can put like a little eye on it. You can just make it look a little bit busier. So you can just repeat that. Have another little one there. Probably even have the start of another one in there. And you can kind of do some little swirls, perhaps, if you like. You know, feeling a bit braver, it doesn't really matter. Just fill up the space. Lots of little S's. And more little S's. I said you can make them smaller and larger, just whatever you need to do to fill up their space, and stop when you're happy with it. Okay, squeeze another one in there. Fantastic. So you can come back to it maybe tomorrow if you're brave and say, yes, I'll do another 4. So have a little think how you might fill up your next 4 little boxes and so on, so you can keep coming back to it and build up this little library of examples. So a way how we can use those, so you can start creating a more intricate drawing. So you can just, I'm going to use this roll of tape as a template and using my marker pen, which is great. Just as we did with the boxes, it's good to have a chunkier outline when we can. And then go back to our pen and just break this up. I'm just going to break it up with some ruler drawings like that. And then maybe I'll leave that and I'll introduce some curves. Okay. So maybe now pick some of the patterns we've explored as examples in there and just bring them into it. So on this one I can just do a succession of parallel diagonal lines. I can do the little criss-cross or little boxes on this one. So there's no right or wrong. Not allowed with rubber. It's cheating. You just have to kind of improvise and work what you have and see how it develops. And on this one I'm going to use the one with the little dots, so my little diagonal patterns. Quite a nice one, and just fill them up with little dots on the inside. And maybe here I'll bring some of those scallop shapes. You can vary them, make them as small and complex and taller and stretchy as you like. And again then just add some little longer oblong eyes to it, just to fill up the area. Might do an even smaller one in there, another one in there, and just get those crossed in the middle. And then maybe on this one I'll just do some wavy, curvy kind of little lines like that. So really just take a peek, keep referring back to what I haven't used. Maybe my little swirls. Can do lots of little swirls. Just fill the whole space up with little swirls. How many can you squeeze in? Okay, that's probably good. There's a couple of little areas. I'm just going to use some little cross hatching, kind of little abstract little crazy scratchy pattern on that one. I think I'll just do some straight lines on this one, and I'll do some more squares on this one, and I'll graduate them, get them larger and larger, and maybe I'll double this up, so this is kind of start to improvise slightly, which is never a bad thing. And then I can put a little zigzag line in that middle section there. Okay, and I can do some wider lines on this one. Really just go with the flow. Brilliant. So that's most of them. I'll just do some little squiggly ones in that last little bit. There you go. So we can kind of to highlight the different sections. Again, if you have a pen, you can patiently kind of highlight this and just kind of go over, make that line a bolder, more obvious line. But if you have a marker pen, it's very much easier. So you can just come back and just separate all those areas, and it's great because it really ties up all the little ends of the pen where some of the marks might have overlapped slightly. And there you go. So that's just a little example using the techniques and patterns that we developed earlier to create something like that, and then you can really build it up and make it into a more intricate picture. I have with me a little example there. So this is another picture that I've drawn earlier. So start building up your circles and interlock them. They're always quite nice to have them like that. And again, explore maybe some different patterns that we haven't used before. And then I've also have on a piece of card one here that I've drawn freehand, just a nice little cactus on the card, as I said, and then just highlight the main sections with my pen, and then I'm kind of slowly just building up and just really start filling up this. So I'll come back to it when I have a bit of time and just do a little pattern on them every now and then, and slowly but surely it will all filled up. So that's another little example there. And last but not least, there's a little birdie that I have used and mounted onto a piece of card. So this one was using just a printed template. I didn't draw the outline as I have done with this one. So you can use, if you've got access to a printer, and you can print little templates, outlines, silhouettes like this, and then it's a question of going back, breaking up into more sections, and then start filling them up as we did in all of these examples. So I hope you've enjoyed it, this tutorial, and that we share with us any pieces of artwork that you might create yourself. Look after yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.